Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom and it is Team of the Season time. So I am going to try and pick out my 11 for the championship this season. I'm going to do 7 substitutes as well. Should be a bit of fun, but we always get lots of comments on this type of thing. So I'm going to do it by some rules. First, and most importantly, this is based on the players' performance this season, not their ability. So even if they played in the Champions League 3 seasons ago, it all matters what they did this season. 2, I cannot pick someone ridiculously out of position just to fit them in because I like them. Obviously, there'll be a little bit of bend on players' positions, but not, I don't know if you saw Yaya Toure playing like a 2-3-5 with Iniesta as holding midfield. We're not going to be doing that. The idea is that the team could actually play a game and function. Thirdly, importantly, every player must have 25 league starts. So that's about 2/3 of the games. I don't mind if they haven't had 25 starts in the position I pick them, but they need to have had 25 starts. So that is my rule. So that should hopefully preempt a lot of the comments. Just remember that 9 times out of 10, if you're commenting me, why did I pick that player and not that player? The answer will just be, well, that guy was my favourite, and you're allowed to have a different favourite. Not that I do not invite comments, really interested in people's teams, but just don't pick holes in mine. Just tell me who your favourites would be. So I'm going to head over to the table over there that you can't see, but you will see in a minute. And we're going to try and do this nice and visually. So hopefully it all goes well. And I'll see you over there on my phone. So let's start with the goalkeepers. Here are pretty much my 4 favourites. So Dean Henderson for Sheffield United, Dan Randolph for Middlesbrough, Marek Rodak for Rotherham, and Jack Butland for Stoke. I think on talent, probably Mr. Butland gets it. But remember, this is not on talent, and Stoke haven't been great. So I am going to take him away. Rodak, I've kind of given a little bit of a nod to because Rotherham are a very defensive team, low down the table, and he does a great job there. But I'm not sure I can justify having him in. So I'm going to take Rodak out, which leaves me to, so you've got Dean Henderson, who is a lone goalkeeper, Darren Randolph, not much in this. I am going to go for Randolph purely because he plays in a pretty defensive-minded team that like the opposition to have the ball, and so he's kind of called on. I suppose Henderson does a very, very different job, but what we're going to do, we will stick Henderson over here. He is going to go on our bench. So we're going to start off with Darren Randolph of Borough in goal. Best goals against record, second in clean sheets in a team set up to defend. Let's move on. Let's look at some right backs. So Max Aarons from Norwich, brilliant young right back. Reece James on loan from Chelsea. Pavel Olkowski, who manages to stand out in a pretty terrible Bolton team. But really, this is a 2-horse race. So we've given Olkowski his mention. He can now go away. And it's a really, really close one between Reece James of Wigan, Max Aarons of Norwich. I am going to edge just... and this is very, very close, both great players. I'm going to edge for James. Just he's playing in a much, much worse team. His stats are still good. Great set play taker, and maybe just a touch more in terms of attacking play. I know Aarons is very good. I'm not saying Aarons is a bad player. He's an excellent player. But I just think James has been moved into centre midfield. He's really stepped up for Wigan there. What I'm going to do with Aarons, I think, is just leave him here in contention for my bench. So he may be back later. Let's go for a left back. We've got 3 here. If this was done completely on talent, then it would be Kieran Gibbs, but I'm not having it. So we'll take Gibbs out for West Brom's pretty middling season, should be better. Which leaves me Ender Stevens and Lloyd Kelly. I think that Lloyd Kelly will be the guy in a few years. Should give an honourable mention as well to Jamal Lewis while I'm here. But I know he plays wing back. I am going to go for Ender Stevens of Sheffield United. Superb season from him, improved massively. 37 appearances, 6 assists. I know he is a wing back, but he is having the season of his life. I'll leave Kelly in contention for the bench. Let's look at some centre backs. Lots and lots of names here. Some very, very good players. I would be happy with most of them. If this was fantasy football, we would definitely have Charlie Mulgrew for all his set plays and whatnot. But Tony Mowbray's had a go at Blackburn's defending of late, so I'm going to get rid of Mulgrew. Wow. If I was doing this on attacking set play prowess, I would definitely choose Jake Cooper. Maybe I'll leave him around in contention for the bench, possibly. But I'm not going to have him. If it was based just purely on heading balls away, it would definitely be Tony Leisner, but I don't know whether the rest of his game puts him in there. Liam Cooper, Christoph Zimmerman, Adam Webster, Jack O'Connell, Pontus Jansson. With my Ipswich bias, I don't know if I can choose Webster. He's been a standout for Bristol City. 2-footed, great player, but I'll leave him in contention for the bench. There we go. Oh, I'm down to 4. Zimmerman, couple of mistakes. Obviously, Godfrey's not in this because he doesn't make the 25 appearances cut off, and he kept him closer out. Zimmerman, I saw them play against Birmingham. Wasn't convinced. I know he let Jack Marriott go. He's had a good season, but I'm going to take Zimmerman out. And there is really not much in these last 3. I am definitely going to go for Jack O'Connell. Okay, he normally plays in a 3-5-2, so in my system he wouldn't have as much licence to get forward as he does for Sheffield United, but brilliant player, really young, age on his side, and in terms of blocks and interceptions, just brilliant. Which leads me Leeds centre back. I like both of them, but I just need this guy's leadership and physicality. So I'm going to drop Pontus Jansson in there, a player who I have always liked. And without a hint of bias, I know he's ex-Ipswich, but because he's 2-footed and can come in and play either side, can pass the ball and is pretty decent in the air, I'm going to put Adam Webster on the bench. Right, we're going 4-1-4-1. So I need a playmaker. Now, what have we got available here? Some really, really good players. Calvin Phillips, Ryan Woods, Barry Bannon, Ben Pearson, Ollie Norwood. Woods, real favourite of mine. Really liked him at Brentford, but just Stoke haven't been good enough, so I am going to take him out of the running. Pearson has been great for Preston, but is he a bit too much of a yellow card risk, and is he more of a destructive defensive midfielder? So I'm going to take him out. Now, I love all of these 3 players, but what I would say is, as much as I love Calvin Phillips, does he have the range of passing that these 2 Sheffield players do? I don't think he does, but still a big fan of Calvin Phillips. So let's have a look here. Norwood and Bannon. Bannon, brilliant on set plays. great passer, industrious little guy. Norwood, technically brilliant, great range of passing, flair player as well. Oh, it's so tight. I am going to go like that. So Bannon's going to go on the bench. Norwood is my playmaker. So I have a keeper, a back four, and a playmaker now. And I already have 3 Sheffield United players, 1 Leeds, 1 Borough, and 1 Wigan. Let's have a look. We'll start with right midfielders. Goodness me, lot to choose from. And really, this is very difficult because these are all good players, but 3 of these players stand out way over the others. Tom Ince I like, bit of a show pony, but he's not one of the 3. Jed Wallace, love his pace, love his consistency. He's not one of the 3. Then Hotter, flatters to deceive a little bit. Does Birmingham style suit him? Certainly a very good player. Now, this is where it gets really tough because all of these 3 players are brilliant. Pablo Hernandez, anyone who's watched my channel knows I love him. Emi Buendia, who's been just superb for Norwich. And Jared Bowen has 21 goals playing out on the right, cutting in on the left. My God. Oh, I don't quite know what to do, but how can you say no to 21 goals? Jared Bowen is going to play down the right, but how can we not have these 2 in here? I'm going to stall for a minute and I'm just going to stick Buendia over here on the bench. I've said a few times on the channel, Pablo Hernandez is the best player I've seen this season, so I can't not have him in the team. So I'm going to use a bit of license here. I know he can drift and I know he likes to play down the right. I'm just going to pop him there on the left and we're going to have a think about Buendia because I really want him in my team if I can fit him in. I know I could play Pablo in the middle, but we need to have a think about that. Just quickly, some honourable mentions down the left then. Grozicki, who does a brilliant job and is a great counterpoint for Bowen. Lolly has been fantastic, can probably play either side as well. Freeman never plays badly when I see him and could cover playmaking duties. I think I might want Joe Lolly on my bench because he can cover either side if I needed to use Hernandez elsewhere. But I'm using up my subs pretty quickly. Can we go a bit higher with that? Let's see if we've got the space. Right, centre midfielders. A very, very difficult call now because I've got quite a luxury player here, a luxury player here and a luxury player here. So I really need to have the balance of this right. But I cannot have a championship team without Jack Grealish in. I know he splits opinion and the comment normally is, oh, Grealish is overrated, but we're doing a championship 11. Is he overrated enough to not be in my championship 11? Absolutely not. What a brilliant player. Best first touch, one of the best dribblers, great passer. Can just draw a swarm of players, the most marked and tackled and fouled player in the league. I've got to have Jack Grealish. So this presents me with a really big dilemma because I could kind of do that. Well, I suppose you'd do that, really, and stick Buendia into the team just a bit more centrally. And that would work, but I just worry about the balance of my midfield, and I've got 4 very attacking midfielders. So I'm going to have to leave Buendia out. And I'm afraid we've got to talk about balance now. So I need someone to supplement Mr. Grealish in midfield. And we have a lot of names. In fact, not even enough room to get them all in the shot, I don't think. Wow. So I've got 2 Aston Villa guys, Hurahan and McGinn. Brownhill, very consistent for Bristol City. Howson, Klitsch, Allen, Fleck. Honestly, any of them would do the job. But really, oh dear, I think I might be down to this bottom three. Love Klitsch, Love Howson, Hurahan and Brownhill. But I'm kind of down to three. And all of these players are very, very good at doing this job. I just think Joe Allen might be a bit wasted. And we've got our playmaker covered and a sub, so I'm going to take him out. Fleck, brilliant, doing the job for Norwood in a 3. But I cannot think of anyone better to balance up my midfield than John McGinn. Really good player, creative, but can cover this guy. And who better than his actual centre midfield partner than to cover there? Can I get Fleck on the bench? I might be able to come back to John Fleck on the bench. So, one space up front and some really, really good strikers. Let's look and see what we've got. Again, if I can fit them all into shot. Some great strikers in the Championship. So, we have Jay Rodriguez, 38 goals. Sorry, 38 games, 18 goals. I am going to immediately put Rodriguez on the bench because I think we need a bit of physicality and a bit of height. And I think as an all-round striker, he's actually the best of the lot of them for the complete set of skills. But I need a goal scorer, but I might need a bench option. So he's going to be my 6th substitute there. Which now leaves us Che Adams, powerful, powerful player, but plays in a 2 with Jutkovic. Brilliant season for Adams, 21 goals, 35 games. Great young striker. Not this season though in my team, I am afraid. We're down to 5 now. And even though Dwight Gale is an absolute goal machine, he's been farmed out on the left. Oh God, imagine Harvey Barnes was still around. He would have been up for that position, wouldn't he? I just think for Gale's high standards, he has still got 16 goals, 26 games. He's not the main man that all of these guys are. Which leaves me 4 now. Goodness me. Oh God. Sharp, Abraham, Mopai or Pookie. Mopai, I think he's only 20, 21 years old. 20 goals, 35 games. I think he's just behind the others. So I'm going to take him out as well. Which now leaves me 3. And I know Tammy Abraham is going to be an amazing player when he's older. And for goals to game, goodness me. 32 starts, 21 goals. Absolutely fantastic. But I've already got one Chelsea loan player in here with James. Can't believe I'm doing this. No Abraham. Which leaves me 2 now. God, those two couldn't play up front together, could they? So, the 2 goal machines in the Championship. Sharp, 22 goals in 29 starts, age 33. But the super brain up front doesn't have any of the physicality of those other players. But he knows where the goal is. He's positioning and finishing our first rate. And Pookie has just been astonishing. 24 goals, 35 games. All different types of goals. Probably gives you a bit more in terms of pressing. I'm going to go with Teemu Pukki, and I can't believe this. Billy Sharp on the bench. Hopefully he's in the shot there and we can see. And that concludes my Championship 11 for the season. It's a 4-1-4-1. I've gone with Bielsa's formation, which I think suits a lot of the players. Obviously O'Connell and Stevens maybe are the ones that don't fit in so well. I think I've got a very, very sturdy keeper, decent enough with his feet. I think these guys are good enough at passing to play good football, and what strength and leadership there. Stevens, up and down that left the whole game he would go. James, look out for him. He should play for England one day. Norwood, pulling the strings, playmaker there, amazing range of passing. The only issue with this midfield is how on earth do you circulate possession around these 4 players, because they're all absolutely brilliant, but I've tried to get the balance. Hernandez, we know he likes to come in here and do that. And we know he likes to come up here and do that. So I think it would probably work. What you would want is maybe it ending up a little bit like that from time to time, and Grealish feeding the balls through for Pukki and Bowen. Maybe you could even end up with it like that from time to time. But I think as a starting point, that is pretty good. And Pukki to finish off the ridiculous amount of chances that Hernandez, Grealish, McGinn would create for him. And Bowen, he would just be the threat down this side, coming in on his left foot, set plays as well if Norwood or Hernandez or Grealish or any of my brilliant set play takers weren't taking them. But we do have other options if we need a bigger presence up front. We've got Jay Rodriguez. If we can't break free and we need the brains of Billy Sharp, we can bring him in. Buendia could sit in any of these midfielders, probably even go out on the left as well. Add an extra bit of craft. Lolly could play either wing. If we got a problem creating, we can drop Bannon in either as a second playmaker or as a different option. And Adam Webster, tall, two-footed, could definitely cover either of the centre-back positions. And we have to have a sub-goalkeeper on the bench. So look, that is my championship team of the season. Be really interested in the comments to know what you would have as yours. Obviously, it's all a matter of opinion, so you can agree with me, you can disagree with me. Fine, but it's all just a matter of opinion. Remember my rules though, can't play anyone too far out of position. I know I've done a bit of licence there. 25 games, and it's got to be based on this season, not maybe what they're going to do in the future. Let me know what you think in the comments, how many out of the 11 you would have, whether you play a different system, and how many points would that team get in the league. I'm going for at least 100 points for that team if they stayed fit all season. Brilliant stuff. Thank you for watching. I hope it's been interesting. No face on the camera today. Trying to do something a bit different. Get involved in the comments, thumbs up, and hit that subscribe button. Over and out.